Good morning and welcome to a new edition of the Betting Connection podcast. I'm Chris. I'm here with my co-host, as always, Rob. Rob, how are you doing today?
Hi Chris, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Still reveling in last weekend's successes. Absolute fantastic weekend for the podcast and on the socials. Combination of both, whatever you like, mix and match. Absolutely smashed it last week.
Yeah, we had a good weekend. We had a good weekend. Definitely. Also good for our own bank account. So yeah, love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we obviously are delivering one winning podcast after another at the moment. But last weekend felt especially special. We got all the way to Sunday afternoon with 100% record until well, it depends actually which way you look at it. On the socials, we went as far as the Tottenham game on Sunday. You did have a lean towards Aston Villa in the podcast last week that you kind of talked yourself into an official pick. So I suppose that was a loss because I think you went down the pick road in the end with it.
Yeah, don't bring that up. I think that was the one that could have been like a hell of a weekend, like a great weekend if that one hold up. But then again,
Last minute, late as well, wasn't it? Really late.
I think there were 12 seconds on the clock. So yeah, but that's football. That's in a nutshell. And if you like you can't put them in every Acca. So it was still a good weekend after all, but sometimes yeah, that happens. It happens.
Yeah, and Aston Villa and Spurs, they were literally the only two that didn't win out of all our picks here on the pod, out of all the things that we put on the socials. Another win for the big gun Acca. The student Acca didn't come in because we had Tottenham. I think there was one other that let us down anyway. But again, that's just a bit of fun anyway. You put a different variation of the Big Gun Acca on Sunday, a little smaller version of it that won on Sunday on the socials. We had NFL picks coming in on Sunday and Monday. Yeah, truly good weekend. So was there anything in particular? What was your highlight, your standout result or standout day? What was your highlight of last weekend?
Oh, it goes. The matches come so quick and fast, and we have so much matches to talk about. I have to think about it for a little bit. You always remember your losses, maybe more, but then again, I already forgotten about the Aston Villa game. I think like the odds on the Dutch games were really good. I think the Friday night, the second division, I'm at the moment I'm delivering. I didn't find any really good picks this weekend, but yeah, I think that stands out. That normally the Dutch football sometimes is hard for me to try and really find the good values. But yeah, this year I've been doing really well, and it looks like I'm tuned in on that league. So yeah, besides yesterday, Feyenoord losing to Ajax, but I had that one on the socials that didn't come in. But besides
Yeah,
that,
we'll
it's
we'll
fine.
we'll, we'll get to we'll get to that one a bit later when we go to Holland. But yeah, your second division Dutch football's come in 2 weekends in a row now. One thing noticeable though is the fact that the odds seem to drop quite quickly, don't they? On the between when we record this pod, usually on a Thursday morning, until the Friday evening games, they drop quite a lot.
Yeah, they dropped a lot. Definitely on the Dutch second league one, it was unbelievable. I think it dropped like over 0.5 or something. That was very, yeah. But I think it's with the information that comes with the teams and the teams that they put out after that as well. And people like when it comes closer to kickoff, I think more people are betting it, and then the line's moving more and more. But if you betting like 2 or 3 days before, like we are doing right now, you definitely get the best prices. And I think the way we look at it, at the statistics a little bit, at the form, at the lean, like the gut feeling, and I think most people do it like that. So most of the money would go to the teams that we pick anyway, to be honest. But yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've mentioned it many times before about getting on early. Now we're recording this pod earlier. I've said it again and again every time we record this pod. Like, I am doing my research and betting earlier, and generally speaking, the prices come down. Because, like you say, I think people are also delivering the same research and reviews, but maybe closer to the time, and therefore people are betting later. I think it's natural anyway. I mean, it's sometimes complicated doing research during the week when there's still games going on. So, for example, the Italian league, I've had Serie matches this week. They're still not finished. There's some tonight. Very difficult to do research for the weekend on Italian matches when we haven't got rid of the last round of games as well. So there's pros and cons doing research early, but the Dutch second division does seem to be one that's dropping massively. You had it the weekend before with Dordrecht, I think it was, that dropped massively between the pod and the games. So yeah, look, going forward, yeah, make sure you get on early if you're following us on any of these picks, especially the Dutch second division. I think earlier the better.
Exactly. Now, enough about us glowing about our last week. We have to get into another big weekend. So yeah,
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go into England first. We had a big game last weekend. That was part of our quick fire round. I think you called a draw on Arsenal Liverpool. Did you get to see the match?
I saw a little bit of the match, yeah, but I think you saw the whole match, right?
Well, yeah, as an Arsenal fan, yeah, even a week later, I still don't really know my emotions of that match. It was a strange one. I think that Arsenal were very, very good in the first half, and then second half, I felt like Arsenal. Gabriel got injured and he came off, and I felt like Arsenal almost treated it like we went down to 10 men. And with Kivior coming on, you could argue that it was, but like they really did kind of revert to like they had a man sent off and maybe so many red cards this season. It's just a natural reaction these days, but it did feel like it. I was quite not disappointed because I wanted Arsenal to win, but I thought Liverpool didn't show me as much as I thought that they were going to bring to the table, to be quite honest. I thought there's some fancy play, but they didn't really create anything. And Arsenal finished the game with a back four of Partey, Ben White, Kivior, and Lewis Skelly. You know, and they got a late equaliser. They didn't really do much else. So yeah, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel. I think the referee had a terrible game as well. Arsenal got a goal disallowed at the end. But yeah, look, it's still probably a positive result for both. You said last week both would be happy with a draw. I don't think we were, but ultimately it's better than losing.
Yeah, I think I saw definitely the first half, and then I think it was quite an open game in the beginning, and maybe Arsenal a little bit better until they get the goal. When they go 1-0 up, then they start like automatically defending a little bit more, sit a little bit more deeper, and then you give Liverpool the chance to get into back into the game. I think like didn't Arsenal score twice from a set piece?
The second one
Second
definitely.
one was, eh? No, the first one wasn't, right? It was
The
Saka.
first one was no, that was Saka over the top ball from Ben White. So no, but you're right in what you say there. I think that when Arsenal were level in the game, we played really well.
Yeah.
When we were winning at 1-0, even for a few minutes, and at 2-1 most of the second half, didn't play the same. It's frustrating that like it needs to be more on the line to play your normal way. And I think that's the problem with Arsenal at the moment. I think there's a bit of fear in the system.
Yeah, and for Liverpool, I think surely it was a great opportunity to get something more, even more out of that match. Definitely when you have all those defenders from Arsenal that had to go out or was suspended or whatever happened to them. It was definitely a chance, but then again, in first year after club, not losing away to Arsenal is a great result. And I think before the match and before the season, they would definitely sign a paper where like, okay, we get a draw there. But maybe if they were in the match at 2-2, having a little bit more, yeah, they feel a little bit maybe disappointed as well. And Arsenal just needs the points and wants to become a champion, so they definitely be disappointed. But yeah, I like the intensity of the games always. Like if you compare it to the Classico, it's always strange, but the intensity of those games is really good, and I like the match. I like to watch those matches.
Yeah, yeah, top of the table. Obviously, there's a lot riding on it, a lot of intensity. So yeah, I think you're right. Liverpool will be definitely happy with that. Probably more than Arsenal in terms of a before, on paper sort of match. I think as a title contender, you want to be winning those matches at home. But I think all things considered, with the injury suspensions, Arsenal will also look at it as probably a point gained and two lost. So either way, look, it's all still in the mix, and yeah, should still be interesting going forward. Both are playing again, obviously this weekend. Liverpool are playing at home against Brighton, who they actually just beat in the Carabao Cup last night. Did you like the price on this? Obviously, Liverpool at home this time, where they beat Brighton away last night. What are your thoughts?
I definitely fancy a Liverpool win in this matchup. If I look at it betting wise, the price is I think 1.45. I've yeah, maybe in a double together with another match, but like a value pick. Would I bet my house on it? No, I think it's too short that price. But then again, Liverpool at home at Anfield, they're doing really well. Last night they won with the second team. Salah did not even play. Van Dijk did not even play. Brighton put out quite a good team, but not all best players. So yeah, I definitely think it's a Liverpool win, but maybe the price is a little bit too short. What do you think about it?
Yeah, again, we know our value picks are more like 170, maybe 165, 167, something like that. So it's a bit short. I think it is quite generous at home. Brighton are a funny team. I think on their day, they're capable of beating absolutely anybody. But they have not having the most amazing of seasons. But yeah, they're just still there, aren't they? They're a problem team to play against. But I think if you turn up as a bigger team, as a Liverpool, you turn up, everyone, gets into gear. I think it should be a home win. So yeah, definitely part of backers, definitely potentially a double to make more than even money. Arsenal have got it a bit harder this weekend, away at Newcastle, always a tricky fixture. Did you have a play on this? Did you have any picks or leans?
I saw the matchup, and beforehand it's like, yeah, you already said it, it's quite hard to tell which way he's gonna go. And then again, if I look at the price, and you can find Arsenal for about evens, I found it at 1.97. So I actually think it's quite a good price, to be honest. I don't know the situation with the defenders of Arsenal, so you have to enlighten me on that one. So what team are they gonna be able to put out?
Well, the I don't think the injuries are as bad. So, for example, Timber came off against Liverpool, but he actually played last night, so he's not injured. Gabriel, we were fearing the worst. Arteta has allayed those fears, but I don't know if he's going to be fit for this weekend. But Saliba is back after his one match suspension, so I don't know. So it's going to be a decent enough. Calafiori's still out, so I think it's still going to be a bit of a mix and match at the back. But everybody else should be fit. Erdegaard's getting closer, but we've had him out for most of the season, so not a lot still to not there's nothing different to the last few weeks in that respect.
No, and
So
if
I
you
think it'll
think
be well, so it's
Yeah, I think like if you look at Newcastle, they're not. I expected more from them this season. Like definitely, if you have that big kind of money, they had like a great season the season before last year. Last season, and they didn't do that well, but I think that was the first time that they also had to play in Europe. So teams always have to adjust to that. And so I thought this year could be like a good year for them. And I think. I expected more from them, and then they're not delivering. And if I find Arsenal at that price, and Arsenal, I think like Arsenal and Manchester City are different. They already showed that they are quality throughout like a long season as well. Liverpool is definitely almost in the mix at the moment. They're doing quite well, and they showed against Arsenal that they're about the same level. So yeah, I think Arsenal is a good price.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make a play on it. I just obviously I'm hoping for an Arsenal win, but I wouldn't put money on it. I don't think. I think it's a good price, and Newcastle haven't been, like you say, as impressive as we thought they were going to be. They won last night against Chelsea, but again, it's hard to really tell from a Carabao Cup match. They had a strong team out,
I
Newcastle, and
see a 0-1, 1-0 win, Arsenal.
1-0 win Arsenal could be tight again. Arsenal have had a good record away from home, a really good record up until the Bournemouth match. And I think the fact that it's the early kickoff as well. Again, Newcastle away, you prefer that time kickoff than evening under the lights. Very, very, very noisy stadium. So early the better, I think, for all the Geordies can get drunk.
Okay.
Okay, so staying in England, we don't have much lower league football this weekend because it's FA Cup first round, and I'm definitely not going to get involved with that minefield. But there are championship matches because they don't join the FA Cup till later, like the Premier League. So there is one match that I do really like in the championship, and it's QPR versus Sunderland. And Sunderland are the team that I'm going to be picking for this match. And they're better than evens. They're 2.1 or 2.10. Sunderland, top of the league. Top of the league in the championship. Surprising. I don't think anybody thought they would, they got off to a good start. And then it was like, oh, it's only a matter of time. And they just kept going and going and going. So they've now got to be considered as serious contenders. They've won four of their last five matches, including the last three in a row. So incredible recent form. No team has scored more points away from home. So they're top of the league, but they also have the best away form. And they're playing against QPR, who have the worst home form. They're second from bottom of the league. They have the worst home form. They've yet to still win a match at Loftus Road. They've drawn three and lost three. And out of those six matches at home, where they've drawn three, lost three, five of those matches are to teams outside of the top eight. So it's not even like, oh, they're struggling because they've just had a hard run. They haven't been playing top quality. The one of those six matches that was against the top eight team was West Brom. They lost 3-1. Yeah, I feel like this is a really generous offering from the bookies on a Sunderland away win. They did let me down earlier in the season away, and I had them as a pick of similar odds. But again, you've got to take the odds while they're there. Away win Sunderland.
Okay. Sounds like a value pick.
Very much so. And yeah, hopefully that will continue my run from last weekend with the value picks that were very good. So yeah, let's see. So let's move on to Holland, your homeland. Obviously there is a big match this weekend between Ajax and PSV. We won't talk about that just now because we're going to have that in our quick fire round later, where I think you also have a pick for us. But is there anything going on in general in Holland? I know that there's one game that you do like a pick for, but give us an update on Holland, all things Holland.
Definitely a big upset yesterday. I think everyone expected Feyenoord to be in a great shape. They had to play the classic match in Holland, like the biggest derby there is. Feyenoord Ajax. There are only home supporters at those matches. There are no away fans. They're not allowed in both stadiums. So even in that hostile atmosphere, Ajax actually delivered and they got the win. And I think it's like because Feyenoord has that new coach, he had like a quite a tough start. Like he didn't lose, but he got a couple of draws. Like that and in Holland a draw is a loss. Definitely, if you want to become a champion, they are already 8 points behind, or they were points behind PSV, who are, yeah, they look like the team that's going to be champion for sure. And then there comes that they've talked about like maybe we have to already think of a new coach at Feyenoord, and then they go on this run of 5 matches, 2 away wins in the Champions League that they haven't done before in like 20 years time. Delivered against Utrecht, delivered against Twente, and then comes against Ajax, and then you think, yeah, they're up for it. But never, that's football. It never goes as it seems. And Ajax got off to a great start, and they actually won the match. And I think they scored 2 goals in 25 minutes. And after that, they just hold on very tight. And Ajax is doing a lot better than last year. And now Ajax has another big match coming up against PSV, as you said before. So yeah, definitely an interesting match we're gonna talk about. If we talk about another match, I like Go Ahead Eagles as a pick. They're playing on, let me see, on Sunday, I think. Yeah, they're playing Sunday at home against Pek Zwolle. Go Ahead Eagles was like the surprise club of last season. They did really well. They got off to a rocky start, but they seem to they have turned the corner a little bit. And they got a draw against AZ Alkmaar. They won at home against Heracles. They got the loss against Feyenoord, but yeah, then again, that's a different kind of level. And now they're playing at home against Zwolle, and Zwolle is a team that's number 16th in the league. They only got 8 points, and they lost the last 3 matches. They even lost in the cup this week. Last Tuesday, after extra time, I think they were up 2-0. So it must fell very hard on them. And I think Go Ahead Eagles can get the win at home. And I think you can find it at 1.65. So I think
Okay.
it's a good one to add to like a Liverpool double or something like that. Maybe a little bit short, but 1.655 just reaches the bar.
Okay, yeah, just about, but nice, 1.65. Keep an eye on that because that might go down to the point where it's not a great value pick if it goes any further down, but certainly one to have with doubles if it goes down, or if you can get on now and get that price, get that single locked in. So nice, yeah, I like that. I like that one as well. Okay, speaking previously about the quick fire round, we had another big match last weekend in the quick fire round, which takes us to Spain. That was the El Clasico. I went hard on Real Madrid. I'll tell you my reasons why in a minute, but that was wow. What
Wow.
happened there? What a shock result.
Unbelievable. I think, yeah, everyone knew Real Madrid is still searching for their form, but you think that those players are gonna turn up in this kind of match. But yeah, the youth of Barca still got it. Unbelievable performance.
Unbelievable. Like, as I say, I went hard on Real last week for a win, purely because I just felt like being at home. You know, they had a good record against Barcelona, and between me and you, I know Barcelona are like your second team, your trophy team. You've talked about it in the past. You spent a bit of time there. You've seen them in their best period, the absolute cream of the cream. I
Yeah.
hate Barcelona. I'll let you into a
Wow.
little secret. I absolutely detest Barcelona. And that dates back to probably around the same era, actually. Hated the likes of Danny Alves. I found them like a real cheating kind of team. And I felt it was a real shame because of the quality they have. And Messi aside from that, Messi was most honest player ever. I don't like the way they pursue players in the transfer market. I'm kind of hinting on the Cesc Fabregas situation way back when. A massive arrogance about them, and I do actually find it quite amusing to watch all their financial troubles now. Not my favourite team at all, and that's why I was just really going heavy on a Real Madrid win through what I wanted as well. Real Madrid are really disappointing this season, aren't they?
Oh, I didn't expect this harsh of Barcelona. I never knew this about you. Wow, because me as a Dutch person, like you know, Johan Cruyff went there, and he's like a little bit of the main man or legend.
Sorry,
Uh,
so I've probably really
Barcelona.
insulted you. I've insulted you there a little bit there,
Yeah,
haven't I?
there's a lot of
I
Dutch
just, I
players
just,
that did really well there, and then like
I
yeah,
just moved
oh,
on. I just moved on really, really smoothly back to Real Madrid's poor form, glossing over the fact I just absolutely slated Barcelona. Sorry, mate. I appreciate there's a lot of Dutch connection there, isn't there?
yeah, that definitely. That also Real Madrid has a lot of Dutch players as well. Definitely in the last couple of decades with the likings of Van Nistelrooy, Sneijder, Van der Vaart, Royston Drenthe. But you
Mm,
also had that era at Barcelona where they had like five or six Dutch players with both the brothers, De Boer, Kluivert was also in
yeah.
there, Cocu was in there, Zenden, and they had the goalkeeper Hesp, so they had like six or seven Dutch players as well. I think in like what's that, like 1998. And then, of course, you had Johan Cruyff before that. Then you had Ronald Koeman with winning the Champions League with Johan Cruyff as a coach. Then you had the era of Kluivert, and then you already had Rijkaard, who made Messi. Messi made his debut under Rijkaard, and that was the time that he had Ronaldinho and Eto'o and Messi, and when they won all the Champions Leagues. So yeah, I always liked them for that reason, I think. So yeah, good to know. Good to know that I'm talking
So
to.
yes, we've got another little bit of a rivalry there. We've got the Arsenal Liverpool one, and now we've got the Real Madrid Barcelona one. But I find that Real it's weird, isn't it? They've signed Mbappe and they look worse.
Yeah, I think that sometimes happen with when you get too many captains on the ship, and it's always tough. I think a team needs like the world-class player, the legend, the guy who can just come to training whenever he wants, and he needs the working horses, and that's a slight, yes, maybe too much at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a bizarre one, but sometimes this does happen. Maybe time will iron the problem out. But right now they're not looking like Spanish champions, let alone European champions. So yeah, one to watch. And they've already found themselves a bit on the naughty list in my book. So I don't think they'll be playing this weekend with the stuff going on in Valencia at the moment. It does feel like that match might be suspended at Valencia, Real Madrid this weekend, but one to keep an eye on, and I'd always be a little bit careful of them at the moment till they can prove that they are the real deal, which at the moment they're not.
Exactly.
Staying in Spain and moving on to a an official pick of mine is a game here with Villarreal. Villarreal did me service me well last weekend. I had them to win away from home at even money. This weekend they are playing at home to Real Vallecano, and yeah, I like Villarreal to continue their decent form. It's a difficult one. This one hasn't been a pick of mine based on pure statistics. I do have a bit of a gut feeling with this one, and because Vallecano have been kind of a mixed bag as well, and they're quite unpredictable and they're capable of a big result. Um, but I think Villarreal, they've actually been better away from home than at home. But I think that's due to the quality of opposition that they've been playing. They've already played Barcelona and Atletico Madrid at home, so their point total of 8 from 5 home games doesn't look too impressive. But when you factor in the fact they've played two of the best teams in the league, makes more sense. Vallecano have exactly the same amount of points away from home, so they have 8, although they've played one game more. And out of those 6 matches, completely mixed bag: 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. So they are unpredictable. However, they haven't played that many good teams away from home. I think they've only played one team in the top 8 so far. That was a 1-0 loss to Mallorca, Mallorca are surprising people this season. So they've only played one in the top 8. They lost that game. And yeah, I really expect Villarreal, now they can clear some of the big boys from their fixture list at home. They can get a bit of a run going at home, transfer that waveform in front of their own fans. And yeah, I fancy them for a win here at 1.73. Although, Rob, I have seen that price starting to drop already. Okay, I got 1.73, but get on quick. I don't think it will stay there.
I always liked Villarreal since they had Riquelme. You remember him?
Yeah, what a
Like that
player.
was the number 10, right?
What a player. I've seen him live, actually. I went to a game in Villarreal versus Arsenal in the Champions League, and he was playing. He was so good, so good.
You don't see those players like that anymore, right? Not that often that are just playing like that kind of number 10.
Yeah, I think that the formations, the game's changed a little bit, hasn't it? Those kind of intricate players, just it was an absolute dream to watch that guy.
So yeah, but I looked at the match a little bit as well because I saw that you picked this one, and I
Mm.
also think that Villarreal, like this is a match that can set them apart in the league. Like they're really hunting down those European spots. Atletico Madrid is not that good. The fourth place is always a little bit up for grabs in Spain. It could be like one of many teams, but Villarreal seems to be the real deal this year, and this could be like the match that really like sets them apart from the rest of the group a little bit. So I think that
Yeah,
that's
they've got an opportunity now. They've got such good away form, and as I say, their home form's been it's been quite difficult, their fixture list. So I think they've got an opportunity now. Start racking up some points at home against the teams they should beat, along with their away form. I mean, they could be the ones challenging, and just securing that top four at least, and if not more. You never know with with the form of Atletico and Real Madrid. You never know.
exactly.
Okay, so the last one in Spain, we've got this. I'll be honest, I did my research on this game. I liked it, and then I looked at the odds, and I thought, oh, it's just on the limit. So I didn't make all my notes as usual of why I liked it. But it's Osasuna at home to Valladolid. But you also put in your games that you like this one as well. Did you have a further look into it, or was that a gut feeling?
Yeah, gut feeling a little bit as well, and I take a look into it as well. Osasuna is the team you remember that beat Barcelona at home, so they liked playing at home. We remember that they didn't beat Real Betis in that close matchup.
Yes,
Um,
I remember.
but then again, like last week, they beat Real Sociedad away from home again. And if I look at Valladolid, they have nothing really to show for besides like a victory against Deportivo Alaves, where Deportivo Alaves was down to 10 men at the end of the match, though. Um, so yeah, nothing really to show for. And Osasuna is also a team that's ranked eighth, and in the form table they're number five. And with my stats, and if you look at the standings of Valladolid, they're 19th of the league. So yeah, I think it's worth a shot in an Acca. Like definitely not a unit play, but as you said, like some prices are getting shorter and shorter. 1.62 is just about the limit.
Yeah, I agree. It's on the limit of a value pick. If it floats back up, like kind of nearer the 170 mark, I probably will have a play on the single. I like them. I picked them at home against Real Betis in that match for a reason. I watched it. It could have gone either way. They followed that up with an away win, as you said, and yeah, I still like them at home against a worse team for all the reasons as per before. And one bad result doesn't make a bad team. And they're fun to watch. I really enjoyed that match, Osasuna versus Real Betis. And yeah, I fancied them to do the job. We've got them in the student Acca. We'll speak a bit more about the student Acca when we get to that section. But they are on it, and definitely one that we both like.
Yeah, they're good for a student DACA. That's where they it's gonna deliver.
Yeah, it's
Time.
perfect student actor kind of team game, that one. Okay, Italy, as I mentioned before, Italy's been a difficult one. I haven't looked into it at all because the fixtures have been going on this week. However, prices have started to land this morning. because a lot of the games were yesterday and the day before. I think there's still one or two games tonight. But yeah, the prices are starting to be on the bookie. So is there any games that you like, Rob, for the weekend in Italy?
I have one in my big gun Acca. We're gonna talk about a little bit later. That's gonna be Inter Milan. They have an easy fixture, or at least on paper, at home against Venezia. But for a pick, maybe a value pick could be the big game of this weekend. It's Napoli against Atalanta, and like we've talked about the Napoli before, as they've been doing like really good this season. But to top that, they even beat this last Tuesday, they beat AC Milan away from home. And again, no goals against a big team like that. Now they're playing Atalanta, and Atalanta was quite good in the Super Cup, I remember, against Real Madrid. But after that, they get off to a little bit of a rocky start, but now they seem to have turned the corner. They've won all the matches that they're supposed to win. But if then again, if I look that they can't beat Celtic at home, yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that Napoli is gonna really want to win this match at home. It's a big match for them. Definitely if they want to become a champion, or maybe they're really trying to. They're already 4 points ahead of Inter. They're 6 points ahead of Atalanta. And this could really be a step up for in the right direction. And I think
Yeah.
I think for even money, I think I saw it for 2.1 or something for a little bit
Yeah,
more.
I'm looking now. I'm looking now. 2.1. Yeah,
I
that's
think
really
it's a
nice.
good price for them. Like it's a good like Atalanta is in good form, but they didn't show that against like the big teams, like the bigger teams in Italy, just the smaller ones.
Yeah, I actually like again without going into further research. I haven't had the chance because the games have been going on. So I'm going to have a little look at that later and look out on the socials for that one because that could be a value pick. I think closer to the time. On the face of it, I really like it. Napoli are looking the real deal. They're looking for Inter will always be considered a challenger this year, of course. But I like what Conte is doing at Napoli. They look good. That looks really favourable at home, better than evens. And Atalanta, as you say, they're on their day they can be amazing, but like they're a bit inconsistent. They're a bit underwhelming this season so far. I think it's not been great. So yeah, it looks good that one.
They've 1 day less rest than Napoli as well. They're playing in Europe again in Stuttgart on Tuesday, Atalanta. So also busy fixture list.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so good price.
Yeah. We'll have a proper look into that. But yeah, that one looks good on the face of it. So are we gonna put that down as a pick or just one to watch and look out for the socials whether we include it? What do you think?
So I'm gonna take it as a pick for,
Right, you're just
for
jumping
Diego
straight in.
Armando Maradona.
A two-footed challenge straight in there, and a pick for Rob on Napoli at 2.10. I'll just get that recorded in. Perfect. Okay, let's
Okay.
do it. I like it. Okay, so right, skipping on to Germany, and this is the last official pick on a single that we have, that I have. Sorry, I know you've got one coming at least. This is in Germany against a match that I would never really look at on paper. Holstein Kiel against Heidenheim. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Holstein Kiel against
Holstein Kiel
Heidenheim.
against Heidenheim, and it's not a match that jumps off the page for quality. But I will say that I really like the play on Heidenheim win here. Holstein Kiel, obviously, they've just been promoted. They weren't champions in the second division last year either, were they? I think they finished second, Holstein Kiel, in the Bundesliga too. So they didn't win it. They've come up. They have failed to pick up a single point at home. They've played four, lost four at home. They're sitting second bottom. It's hard to think of anything other than a straight relegation back the way they're going. Heidenheim are the epitome of a mid-table team. I think they finished around about eighth or something, eighth, ninth last season. They're sitting at mid-table again. They're just one of those teams in the middle. 10 points from their 8 games. They've won 2 and lost 2 away from home. But the key thing for me with why I like Heidenheim to win this is the fact that they're scoring goals and they're scoring goals away from home. So as I say, they've won two, lost two, but they have scored two goals in all of those matches, in all four matches, even the games they lost, which were better, much better opposition than Holstein Kiel. They lost to Borussia Dortmund and Mönchengladbach away from home, but they still scored two goals in each of those games. And Holstein Kiel, the absolute opposite. They're conceding at least two goals in all their home matches. They've actually conceded 14 in total. They got an absolute spanking from Bayern Munich, wasn't it? Was it six? Bayern Munich beat them, I think. So yeah, I just like it. It's 2.5, this one. 2.5 for Heidenheim win against a really, really struggling team. I'm definitely going to take the value on that.
Okay, sounds like a good pick in Germany. Like I don't know much
Yeah.
about those teams, but yeah, you sold
No,
me.
me neither really, but from a statistical point of view, there was just enough. There was enough there, there was enough there that got me interested. And then when I looked at the price, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going for that. One of those. So that's where I was. So okay, let's move on to the quick fire round. Like I say, we've already touched on the games that we had last week. I just want to actually say I was bloody close last week. I said 3-2 Arsenal, Saka to score any time, and it was huge, wasn't it? It was like 40 or something, the odds. And it nearly came in. If we had got
I
that
think you'll
goal
get
not
it. You'll get
disallowed,
it. We'll get it one time. Oh, we got
that
it
was
one
that
time,
was a,
though.
that
We
was
got it.
you did. We have had a couple of big picks on this, but that would have been a huge one,
That would have
3-2, and
been.
it nearly came in. Nearly came in. Anyway, this time round, we've got the game on Saturday. The best again for the new listeners. We picked what we consider the game of the day on Saturday, game of the day Sunday. We each take it in turns to speak for about 30 seconds, give a score line and a anytime goal scorer. Okay. So on Saturday, we've got the big match in Holland, Ajax at home versus runaway leaders, 100% record, PSV. I am definitely going to let you go first here, Rob, as it's your homeland. So do you want me to count you in?
Yeah, you can count me in.
Let's go. Three, two, one, go.
Ajax pulled off a little bit of a miracle. They're up against it again this Saturday against PSV. I think PSV's want and they're gonna deliver this match. They're gonna show Ajax the true colors. Um, I think 2-1 for PSV, and I like Saibari to score. He always goes good in those big matches, and you can find it at 36.0.
36.0. That's a big shout. Is that must be more because of the goal scorer than the score line? Has it been that big?
I got 2-0. Sorry. I got 2-0 for PSV and Ismail Saibari to score, and it's 36.0. And I think Saibari is a player is not you mostly fancy Luc de Jong, most people, or Noah
Yeah.
Delan. But if you look at Saibari, he's this player that I think he's undervalued, and people don't look at him in the right way. And I think he scores quite a lot of goals in those big matches. And this is a big
Okay.
match coming up, so yeah,
Okay. Nice play. Do you want to count me in?
yeah, I will count you in. 3, 2, 1, go.
I am going to go the opposite. You faded Ajax yesterday and they beat Feyenoord. I'm going to go for Ajax as a revival here. PSV are going to lose their 100% record, even though PSV have had the lion's share of this fixture in recent years, but Ajax have been poor in recent years. I am going to go for a complete upset. Ajax to win 2-1, Robbie to score 21.0.
Wow, that's a statement. How much was it?
21.0, 20 to 1 for 2-1 Ajax, Robbie to score any time.
Okay, but
I know that is now going to go against an official pick of yours, Rob, because you are hot on PSV for this game, and that is going to be an official single pick as well, correct?
yeah, it's gonna be a single pick. PSV. I think that price is just too good to let it pass. And yeah, for sure, Ajax looks a lot better. They definitely surprised me again last night. But it's a different kind of match. If you look Ajax Feyenoord, Feyenoord Ajax, it could go any way. It's like a match on their own. Even if one team is in good form or not a good form, you saw it again like yesterday. I think everyone expected a big win, or not a big win, but a win for Feyenoord definitely after last year, where they really got good results against Ajax. But these kind of matches are on their own. And I think for PSV, there's a lot of stake. They really want to show they are the champions. They are a different kind of level. And Ajax, I think, yeah, they and probably doesn't score. So I'm not sure if he's starting. That's still debatable. So maybe you have to replace your pick by Weghorst. It depends on who's starting that match.
Okay.
I think it's a big
Okay.
debate in for the team. I think Weghorst started against Feyenoord, but Bobby came in, and I'm not sure. I think he's gonna do the same thing
You
again.
can still come off the bench and score, Rob. You can still come off the bench and score. And look, and there are some, by the way, there are some bookies as well. Obviously, that there's some interesting ones actually these days that if you've got a play, obviously, if a player doesn't start, it's normally void anyway, that part of it. But there are some bookies there as well that if a player comes on, like starts a match and then gets subbed, or vice versa, doesn't start the match but comes on, you get the goal scorer for both players involved in that substitute as well. There's a couple of bookies that do that.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It's quite an interesting one. It's a new thing, fairly new, but there's a couple of bookies doing that. So that's a nice play as well on the goal scorers to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
PSV 2.37. I think it's a good.
2.37. I have to say, Rob, obviously I know that I've gone for Ajax in the quick fire. I think that was more just to be it's a bit of
Yeah,
fun this round anyway. Firstly, I just want to be a bit different to you. Look, I have to say, I think they're really good odds on a team that is 100% record. They are looking by far the best team in that league. And Ajax are a weird team, aren't they? I mean, even when they win, sometimes they're lucky to. And, I think they were pretty okay last night from what I thought, what I saw. But again, it wasn't like they blew Feyenoord away, did they? I just think it was just take their chances, right?
they took their
Yesterday.
chances and they did really well and they defended really well. That's what this coach really brought into this team. A lot better defense than last year and good energy. Like they had a good intensity as well. But yeah, I think that's why the price is also good for PSV that they won last night. I think maybe the price for PSV is gonna increase a little bit close to the kickoff because I think Ajax is the most favorite team for most people in Holland, the biggest team, and so I think people like to bet
Yes.
on it as well. So probably gonna go down.
Definitely value there, and I think that Ajax win last night helped PSV odds, as you say. So yeah, look, I think the smart play is still PSV win, but like obviously we just don't know. Is Ajax really going to turn a corner and threaten at the top of the league, or is it just a one-off match that they put it together?
No, I
We'll find
think
out after the weekend.
yeah, no one's gonna threaten PSV. No one's gonna threaten.
No, you don't think if they win, if Ajax win, I think that puts them 5 points behind with a game in hand. So you still don't think they'll be in it? You still think that it's too clear for PSV?
Yeah, I think still PSV are too good this
Okay.
season.
Okay.
And I
Let's see
don't
that
even
result. I'm
like them. I
interested.
don't even like them. No, just joking.
Okay. Okay, well, let's see. It's a big match and one interesting. Another big match is on Sunday. Yeah, there was a couple of games, wasn't there? You had Tottenham versus Villa. We considered as our game of the day, but we're going to go with Man United versus Chelsea, especially with the big news this week. So I'll go first on this one, Rob. Do you want to count me in?
Yeah, I will count you in. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going for another upset. I just got a funny feeling that Man United might win this match. They won in the Carabao Cup last night. Look, played football like they haven't played probably under the whole time under Ten Hag. They've won the last two fixtures at home in the Premier League against Chelsea. They won 2-1 last year. I am going to go for a surprise result again, 2-1 Man United. Bruno Fernandes to score 34.0.
Okay, good pick. Good pick. I like it.
Yeah, it's a pure. I have there's no statistical basis on that whatsoever. Just changing of the guard. I don't know. I think there was a lot of toxicity there at United. Maybe they needed this change, and maybe they'll start getting some results.
Okay, first count me in. Otherwise, I'll already talking about it.
Yeah, true, true. Okay, right. Three, two, one, go.
New captain, Van de Man, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Yeah, as you said, he delivered yesterday with a big match or with a good game, 5-2 win. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be 1-1. I definitely think they have a chance, Manchester United. And I think Marcus Rashford's going to score for 31.0. And yeah, Van de Man.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So Man United, Van the Man.
Yeah,
Let's
but they're
see.
gonna change him, right? I think that there already been talks of a new manager coming in. I think they're not gonna give him the chance.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going, but I think they are waiting until after the next international break before is it Amarin starts. So yeah, yeah. I was really hoping, as an Arsenal fan, was really hoping that Ten Hag stayed forever, but unfortunately not. And yeah, just horrible. Arsenal playing United at the beginning of December, and I was like, oh, I really hope Ten Hag just lasts until Christmas. But no. So yeah, interesting to see what happens with Man United going forward. So yeah, one to keep an eye on, especially for betting as well. So yeah, if they pick up a big result against Chelsea, I think odds might start changing on United.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll leave that match on its own. Won't bet it.
No, definitely, definitely not. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised by any of the three possible outcomes, I think, in that match. Chelsea could blow them away as well, quite easily. So we
Exactly.
we shall see. We shall see. One win in the Carabao Cup does not turn a team's fortune. So I think it's more just about momentum and new hope and expectancy for our picks on that one. But I definitely won't be putting money on it.
Okay.
Definitely not. Okay, let's get on to the Accas. Rob, big gun Acca. I mean, what can we say? I mean, this is starting to feel like free money. What have you got for us this week,
Oh,
Rob?
don't put the pressure on me. Not so
Well,
quick.
sorry, but
No
like
pressure.
when I put my bet on at the week bets on the weekend from our podcast, from our picks, I have to say I'm feeling very confident with Big Gun Acca. So I'm sorry, but you've only created that pressure for yourself. As they say, it's easier to win the league than win it again the second season. So it's a little bit
Yeah.
like that. You've become so successful that you've kind of put the pressure on yourself. But I'm sure you can deliver, Rob. Give us the Big Gun Acca.
Okay, I'm going for it's getting shorter, as you said before. The prices are getting shorter, but I found my big on Acca. It's a six-fold this time. It's all the big teams at home. I think there's one a little bit larger price, but all really short, but we're getting there. First up, FC Porto. Second, Inter Milan. FC Barcelona. Bayern Munich. Liverpool and Sporting. And if you add them all together, you can find the price of 2.73. And that's the big on Acca for this time.
Wow, that is the definition of a big gun acca. Wow, like normally like that is the idea of a big gun acca, but obviously sometimes there's teams that creep in there that you wouldn't consider a big gun, but odds wise, it makes sense to put them in. But that is the big gun acca, literally there, right there, definition
Yeah, that it's definitely like
of
it
it.
should all be bankers. I think Liverpool is at 1.4 to make it a little bit more interesting. But you can even mix and match those as well. But yeah, they're considered to be all bankers, and yeah, we'll see if we keep on delivering.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Moving on to the student ACCA, one ACCA that we're not delivering on. We did put a cry for help, an SOS, as you may, out to our followers on X to try and help us with this. It didn't get the traction that we were wanting. So, look, we're going to offer it out to you guys that listen to this podcast as well, that maybe don't follow us on socials for whatever bizarre reason. You don't want to follow us, but you listen to this podcast. We want your help with the student ACCA. So I am going to give it again this week. But for next week, we really want you guys to tell us what teams to put in our student ACCA. And a student ACCA is the definition of teams that are kind of, that you fancy, gut instinct, when you used to put €2, £2 when you were a student to try and get that ACCA in, to try and make your beer money for the weekend. Let's hear it. We're not having much success on the pod on this one. Always seems to be one or two that let us down. So yeah, let's see if you guys can do better. Tell us. You can. How can people tell us, Rob? Can they leave comments in our socials, in our DMs? What's the best way?
Yeah, you can do it anyway. To be honest, I think every way you want to contact us, it will get through. Get us on the socials across all those platforms. Definitely on X. We're the biggest on X at the moment. Yeah, you can send us a direct message if you don't want to share it with the whole world, and if you want to share it, you can just add it in the comments.
Yeah, and look, and we'll put your name in lights on our podcast next week. We'll make a comment on X as well, especially if it's a winning one. You're not going to hear the end of it. This could be your moment to be put into the spotlight. So yeah, want to hear from you guys. Let's make up a student ACCA. Let us know your teams for next weekend. For this weekend, I'm going to maintain it, and maybe we'll get a winner. Let's see. I have gone for Liverpool as well. So Liverpool find their way onto both Accas. I have got Middlesbrough to win. They're playing at home this weekend. I've got Osasuna. We've already talked about Osasuna. And then I've got AC Milan, Frankfurt, and PSG. And those teams again, so that's a 6 team ACCA as well, which is I think it's the same as the big gun ACCA. So 6 teams, 12.66. And just to read them again: Liverpool, Middlesbrough, Osasuna, AC Milan, Eintracht Frankfurt, and PSG.
Okay, and if you don't want to put Liverpool in both AKs, what would be definitely understandable, you can leave it out in one of them and just be safe. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I'm considering that now, but there has been a couple of weeks where we have had one team in both, and actually it has been okay mostly when that happened. But yeah, Liverpool's a bit of a, as you say, a bit of a riskier one on the big gun ACCA. But I imagine that if you take Liverpool off the big gun ACCA, you still got probably an even money ACCA there probably. But yeah, we'll have a little play around with that. But yeah, look, I think we both fancy Liverpool.
Okay.
Okay, let's finish with bet of the week. This is again for new listeners. We both pick our bet of the week, pretty obvious in the title, and we're keeping a little running total between me and Rob to see who has the most wins. We have to keep it between kind of odds of what we consider a value pick, so somewhere like 1.67 upwards, but as close to evens really as we can. We both won last week, and that puts us both at 4 each. So it's 4-4. Rob, we both won last week. You had one of the Dutch second divisions, which it could be a steward's inquiry by the time the odds came in pre-match. But I know that you had this pick early doors with decent odds, so I'll let you off.
Oh, let me off, man. I had the biggest pick as well in this section. I had the 2.65 the week before.
Yeah,
And
which also
got
dropped
to
down to nearly,
mention
which
that
also
one.
dropped down to nearly even. So yeah, no, your picks on the day. This goes back to the second division, isn't it? Because you both of your bets of the week in the last 2 weeks have been the second division Dutch football. And yeah, what you gave the odds at, what they were on the day, weren't at the time. But yeah, the intention was correct. They were good picks. One, happy days. You're not getting any bonus points that you look for, but it's all good. It's 4-4. I had Reading. Reading really did the job for me last week, and we're on 4-4. So who are you going to pick for this week, Rob?
Oh, I found it was a hard card to find a good value pick, but I talked myself into it during the podcast, and I'm choosing Napoli to win at home against Atalanta.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is brave.
it is
That
brave.
is brave.
I was a little bit in between PSV, but like both of those matches are tough matches. But I think they both have good value, to be honest. Like I could play like the big teams that you think like, yeah, sure, that's gonna win that match, but you don't get that price. And I think Napoli at home in this kind of form, they really want to get a win. And yeah,
Okay, okay. I see. I have been torn between two of my picks here for bet of the week, and it would initially. I really feel good about the Sunderland game, and funny enough, they are exactly the same odds as Napoli, which would make it a really interesting fight. Um, but I'm gonna have to go down a little method that's worked for me, and I go back to teams that have previously delivered the goods for me. I've done it with Aberdeen; they delivered the goods. I picked Reading last week as my bet of the week when they previously delivered the goods. So, with that in mind, I have to stick with Villarreal as my bet of the week because they delivered the goods for me last week. So I'm going to follow that method and go with it. And Villarreal at home to Real Vallecano is my bet of the week.
okay, sounds good.
Okay, okay, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Rob, you've already mentioned where people can find us on the socials. Shall I just do a quick recap of the official picks there, Rob? Just
Yeah, that's
quickly
fine.
before we end. Yeah, just to recap it. So we had a Sunderland win away at QPR at 2.10. We had Go Ahead Eagles in Holland with 1.65. Was it 1.65 you had on that, I
Yeah,
think, as
to
Vola?
beat Tex Waller.
Zvala. And then we had the Villarreal, which was bet of the week at 1.73. We both like Osasuna. Keep an eye out for it in terms of odds as to whether put it as a single. Napoli, home to Atalanta, which is 2.10, and Rob's bet of the week. We had Heidenheim to win away at nice odds of 2.50 against Holstein Kiel. And we had PSV win away at Ajax at 2.35. So some nice looking odds and picks with that lot. And yeah, good luck everybody with it. Rob, is there any more to say in terms of where people can find us? Obviously, people can find make comments on the podcast link as well, right? With Spotify and Apple.
Yeah, yeah. We really appreciate if you subscribe or you follow us on there as well. Say it to your friends, tell everyone about it, all your mates, your betting friends, family, get everyone involved. We really appreciate it.
Guys, we have 9 out of 10 winning podcasts. This is our 11th episode. We only haven't made money once.
Yeah,
You
they
know what to
actually
do,
should,
guys.
right? They should start listening.
Really, really should. And look, we're on fire. So look, come and join the ride with us. Please get involved with us. Get involved. We want to hear your student accas for next weekend. Let us know what you think of our picks this weekend. Good luck, everybody. Have a great weekend. And yeah, ciao for now.
Happy bad things.